కర్మయోగులే. కర్మయోగులకి భగవద్గీత మీద అడ్రస్ చేయడం అనేది ఒక కష్టమైన పరిస్థితి. ఎందుకంటే కర్మ ద్వారా వాళ్ళు యోగంలో ఉన్నారు ఆల్రెడీ. కానీ భగవద్గీతను గురించి మాట్లాడడం అని అంటే నాకు ఇట్స్ లైక్ ఏ బ్రీత్ ఫర్ మీ. శ్వాస, ఉచ్ఛ్వాస నిశ్వాసాలు ఎలాగో భగవద్గీతను గురించి అధ్యయనం చేయడము, మాట్లాడడం అనేది స్వామి రంగనాథానంద మహారాజ్ ఇచ్చినటువంటి ఆశయ ఫలితముగా నేను ఇవి నిరాటంకంగా కొనసాగిస్తున్నాను. ఒక చిన్న ప్రేయర్ తోటి నేను భగవద్గీతలోకి వెళ్తాను. ఆ ప్రేయర్ కూడా కనెక్టెడ్ టు భగవద్గీత. ఓం పార్థాయ ప్రతిబోధితాం భగవతా నారాయణేన స్వయం వ్యాసేన గ్రథితాం పురాణమునినా మధ్యే మహాభారతం అద్వైతామృతవర్షిణీం భగవతీం అష్టాదశాధ్యాయినీం అంబత్వాం అనుసందధామి భగవద్గీతే భవద్వేషిణీం. This is called the meditative words of Bhagavad Gita. Before opening the book, before start reading and understanding and assimilating the ideas, we should bow down before the Almighty, and we should know the greatness of this great knowledge treasure which was incorporated in Mahabharatam. Mahabharatam is the biggest epic poem on this planet. It contains 1,25,000 slokas. There are certain epic poems in other literatures, in other languages also, like in Greek, Iliad, Odyssey, like that. But they contain only about 4,000 lines, whereas we are having 1,25,000 verses. And this Bhagavad Gita was preached or conveyed by Krishna to Arjuna in the battlefield. That itself indicates that it is required for the people who are intensely situated in a work situation. Kuru means doing, Kshetra means field. Kurukshetra means field of action. Though it was caricatured as a battle between the evil forces Kauravas and the good-natured people Pandavas, this has a symbolic representation of our day-to-day life, where we are also confronting so many tussles, ongoing fight going on between evil and good forces. So everybody has to apply himself the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita to excel in his field of work. Maybe a teacher, maybe an executive, maybe a doctor, whoever it may be. The Bhagavad Gita teachings can be applied by any human being anywhere in the world. It has no connection with the religion. Many people think that it is a religious book. No, there was no religion existing 5,000 years ago when Bhagavad Gita was taken its origin. The religions have come of late, and our Hindu culture is depending upon this hoary dharma, which was a very, very ancient one. That's why it is called as a Sanatana Dharma. Different connotations are being given for Sanatana Dharma in the present context, in the turbulent political environment. But Sanatana Dharma means which exists forever, and that is there incorporated in Bhagavad Gita, in Mahabharatam by Veda Vyasa. Now the salutations are to Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Fullara Vindayita Patranetra Enatvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha. Oh Lord Vyasa, you are having Vishala Buddhi. Nowadays we are all having narrow-minded, parochial mind, partisan attitude. But whereas you are having a Vishala Buddhi, an expanded mind, a pure intellect which can give direction to the people. And it has been giving. This Mahabharatam and Bhagavad Gita is giving direction to so many people. including you, me, and everybody can take a lesson out of it. So there are many people who have paid rich tributes to this Bhagavad Gita, which is part and parcel of Mahabharatam. It is situated in Bhishma Parva. That's beauty. Bhishma is the ardent devotee of Lord Krishna. Maybe keeping that in mind, Vyasa might have incorporated in his Parva Bhishma Parva. And this Vishnu Sahasranama comes in Anusasanika Parva. So Bhishma himself has rendered this Vishnu Sahasranama. So he is an ardent devotee, but he has to guard evil forces. That is the fate. That is a different thing. Now, Namostute Vyasa Visala Buddhe Fullara Vindayata Patranetra Enatvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradeepaha. You have kindled a light with the oil of Mahabharatam, and it is always liked by the good people. So, with this tribute, I am going to introduce to some of the people who are not aware of Bhagavad Gita. Everybody knows about Bhagavad Gita, but I want to give, as rightly said by our General Secretary, Vihanga Vekshanam, a bird's eye view. It consists of 18 chapters distributed through 700 slokas. The first chapter is called Arjuna Vishada Yogam, and the final chapter is called Moksha Sannyasa Yogam. Why we should learn Bhagavad Gita? That is the question now. We are eating, we are sleeping, we are doing everything, we have done our duty and all that. But Bhagavad Gita awakens your inner self. It's not, we have got 4 Purusharthas: Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. Dharma means your duty, Artha means economic values, you earned money, done something. Kama means satiated your desires. Now the ultimate stage is Moksha. You have to realize your inner self. Divinity is within you. When Swami Vivekananda used to talk about Bhagavad Gita in multi-religion conference Chicago in 1897, people were amazed to look at the depth of the knowledge and the way he has presented before them. He has quoted one sloka from Bhagavad Gita which reads like this: Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasaha. O Partha, people worship me in different forms, in different ways, but all those prayers come to me and I fulfill their desires. So he is not talking about a particular cult or anything. Anybody who prays to God, it reaches to the Almighty. So he has broken those barriers. In the multi-religion conference in Chicago, people were sitting on the dais to magnify, to explain to the whole world that their religion, their community is the best, superior one. He said, I am proud to belong to a country which is mother of all religions, he said. Then he also said, I thank you in the name of the most ancient order of monks in the world. Second point. Third one, he says, I thank you in the name of mother of all religions, and I thank you in the name of millions and millions of my countrymen who are distributed through various classes, sects and all that. So he is proclaiming to the whole world that India is the seat of learning, and it is already proved that beyond doubt that we are having Nalanda, Takshashila universities where 5,000 to 10,000 students used to come from foreign countries, especially from the Iran, those countries, and also from the neighboring countries like China. Fahian has visited, you know that in history. So now this Bhagavad Gita, when I say I have brought, last night I had to do a little bit exercise, how I can talk about Bhagavad Gita in a nutshell. So for every chapter I have chosen one sloka. Before proceeding to that, I want to say that this Bhagavad Gita was translated by Edwin Arnold in 1885. He learned Sanskrit, he has become a Sanskrit scholar, he was principal for Deccan Sanskrit College in Pune, and he was, having learned Sanskrit, he has studied Bhagavad Gita and he has translated it by the name The Song Celestial. And another masterpiece of him is The Light of Asia, which has talked about the Buddha, Gautama Buddha. So these are all the millions of copies were sold. Especially the Song Celestial was very famous, and most of the Western philosophers were attracted through his translation. He says that English literature would become insufficient, would have been insufficient if I have not translated Bhagavad Gita into English language. He also says, I am amazed at the spiritual message given by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. It is very thrilling experience to go through those pages, and that has prompted me to translate it into English. And also he said, there is little else which the Bhagavad Gita does not explain itself. Bhagavad Gita is not very hard to understand. It is not very difficult to read also, because it was written in Anushtup Chandas. Anushtup Chandas means you have 4 lines in every sloka, and each line will have 8 words, So in 32 words, this is the simplest meter Chandas in Sanskrit. So Vyasa has purposefully chosen this simple Chandasu so that any reader, any listener can easily memorize or understand those things. So there is another tribute given by Mahatma Gandhi. My life has been full of external tragedies. When I do not find a ray of light in the horizon, I turn to Bhagavad Gita. I readily find words to comfort me. It is my mother after my mother. The external tragedies, if they have not left any indelible impact on my mind, I owe it to the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So I have kept before you 2 statements given by our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, and also the Edwin Arnold, who has first time translated into English this great epic poem. Now there are 18 chapters. Now the first chapter, first sloka, everybody knows. And the architect, Bhagavad Gita, Vyasa is a great architect. So the 700 slokas, the first sloka comes from the mouth of Dhritarashtra. For every character created in Mahabharatam, there is a what is called a symbolic meaning. Dhrita means firmly holding. Rashtra means field. One who holds firmly the field, he is called Dhritarashtra. Means he is conveying that one, he is possessive, he is ignorant person. He is possessive, Dhritarashtra. He wants to possess unrighteously. Though it righteously belongs to, half of the kingdom belongs to Pandavas, his son is doing a lot of nasty things, but he has not prevented him from doing it. And inside, he was having that great desire that his son should rule the entire kingdom. So that is Dhritarashtra. Similarly, if we cling to our body only, our sensual pleasures only, there is an amsa of Dhritarashtra in us also. So how to come out of that? So a ministry is there by name Samjaya. What is Samjaya? Samyak Jaya. One who has successfully won over the sensual passions is called Samjaya. Samyak Jaya. He has won over them. Because the sense organs always prompt us to go to the material things, and they leave an impression on us. Those impressions will form into our samskaras. If you have good impressions, then you turn into a good person. If bad, evil tendencies are absorbed, then he will become an evil person. So Sanjaya is there, Dhritarashtra is there. The first sloka, Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Samjaya. Kim Akurvata. Akurvata means done. What is that done? Samjaya, please tell me. Kim, what? Sanskrit is beautiful language. Kim means what? What they have done? Samaveta Yuyutsavaha. Yuyutsavaha means with an intention to fight with each other, they have assembled there. What has happened there? Then in the next remaining 699 slokas, no Dhritarashtra. Means Vyasa has that Ajnani, that Aviveki, he has given space for one sloka only in the 700 slokas. That is the great architecture of Veda Vyasa. So the second, that is the first sloka, and the Arjuna Vishada Yogam is all weeping of Arjuna. Swami Vivekananda says to our countrymen, don't weep, you have wept long enough, plunge into action, bring glory to our country. He used to say that. So weeping will not solve the results. So here Lord Krishna, as a teacher, a great teacher, he has not uttered anything in the first chapter. So he was go on listening what Arjuna is putting forth his arguments not to fight the war. So he says the Duryodhana, in the course of going round the battlefield, he says to Dronacharya, Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam paryaptam tvidame tesham balam bhimabhirakshitam. This is a wonderful statement in the Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Aparyaptam means unlimited. Unlimited is our army under your control, whereas Pandava's army under the control of Bhima is paryaptam, very limited. So he is looking at the figures and numbers. Numbers won't deliver the result. It is only the quality people who are motivated, who have a vision, they can deliver the results. Though Pandava's army is less in number, they could win over because they have a clear conviction. They are fighting for a right cause. Then comes the entry of Krishna into the battlefield, was beautifully portrayed. Tata svetair hayair yukte mahati syandane schitau. Tataha svetai hayair yukte. White horses, the chariot, that chariot name is called Syandana. This is Syandana is the chariot presented by the Agni during Khandava Dahanam. So that's a different story. So it has come there. So it denotes that Arjuna is ready to fight. He has come with all his bow, arrows, fully prepared with armor, and choosing the Lord Krishna himself as his chariot driver. But now when it was stopped in front, in the middle, nowhere land is there in between battlefield, between the two armies, there is a no man area. There Arjuna, Lord Krishna has taken the chariot and stopped there. Lord Krishna, as you know, is a very a multifaceted personality. So he wants to check the psychological state of Arjuna. So he has stopped in front of Bhishma and Drona, his chariot. Now Arjuna was in dilemma. I have to kill my grandfather, kill my teacher. What for this? Then he says, Na kanche vijayam Krishna, na cha rajyam sukhani cha, kim no rajyena bhogena, kim bhogair jivitena va. I don't want this kingdom, nor fame, nor name, nor the bhoga, by killing my grandpa and my great teacher. What is the use of all this? So he wants to shrink his responsibility. He has to fight the war as a kshatriya for a righteous cause, but he fell in delusion. This is what is called moha. He has fallen into the delusion. Then comes our Krishna, the hero. That's why we call him as Jagat Guru. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. See, we are all lucky when we are pronouncing these, these Sanskrit verses. Very ancient language on this planet, Sanskrit. We have forgotten to learn it or memorize it because of our English education. So then comes the weeping, and he ultimately what happened is he has thrown away his bow and arrows, he has resigned, and he wants to flee away from the battlefield. So Krishna looked into his eyes and said these beautiful words, Kutastva kasmilamidam vishame samupasthitam anarya dustam asvargyam akirtikaram arjuna. Where from this dirt has come to you? Kutastva, kutaha tva. Kashmelam, this is dirt. You are a kshatriya. And you are the chief, one of the chiefs of the army. Now you want to get away, shrinking your responsibility. Kutasva kasmelam idam, this dirt, where from it has come? Anarya dustam. It's not a respectable thing. Arya means respectable. Anarya dustam, asvargyam, akirtikaram arjuna. Then he gives another big blow by saying this. This sloka, Swami Vivekananda says, 699 slokas may go away. But if this one sloka remains, all remaining 699 slokas will emerge themselves. This is called the Kilaka sloka in Bhagavad Gita. Klaibyam asmagamah partha naitatvayyupapadyate kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktottishtha parantapa. Scorcher of enemies. You are a scorcher of enemies. You have 10 titles. Partha, Kiriti, Sabyasachi, what not, 10 titles are there. But now you are talking like a incapable person. And you want to get away from your responsibility. Is it befitting for you? Is it befitting for you? Why this Bhagavad Gita is to be studied? You ask C. Sridharan, Delhi Metro man, he will tell us. Bhagavad Gita, this sloka always prompts me to do my work diligently, he says in his interview. And he reads all the 18 slokas of Sthita Prajna Lakshana. Delhi Metro man, E.V. Sridharan. You put in Google, you will get his comment on Bhagavad Gita. He says that. So, Klaibyam asmagama means don't allow. Ma asmagamaha. Don't allow. Klaibyam means indecisiveness. Klaibyam means actually in Telugu we call it as napumsakatvam. Napumsakatvam means neither this nor that. You are behaving like that now. This is befitting for you. Na yupapadyate. Pettiness of mind is not befitting for you. Kshudram hridaya balyam. Uttishta, you get up. So uttishta prapya varanni bodhata is there in Kathopanishad, and discreetly Veda Vyasa is putting that Kathopanishad word here, uttishta. Even in Ramayana also, Vishwamitra says, uttishta narasardula kartavyam daivamahnikam uttishta. What is that? Uttishta means get up. For an executive, he has to get up and plunge into action. Maybe troubles. Maybe you have to discharge your responsibilities. You will be confronted with 1,001 problems. Don't shrink from responsibility. That's why executives are being taught about Bhagavad Gita, especially the 20 qualities contained in Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. Amanitvam, Adambhitvam, Ahimsa, Kshantir, Arjavam. Sridharan says, I like the word Arjavam. What is that Arjavam? Straightforwardness. Arjavam, straightforwardness. People will respect you. In management, what the leader does, the followers replicate the same thing. So, she says that, Klaibyam Asmagamah Partha. Then Arjuna found a different dimension in Lord Krishna. Earlier he was his brother-in-law, they were chit-chatting, they were eating together, they were celebrating together and all that. But when he said this word, Klaibyam Asmagama Partha, a new dimension, then he said, there is a great guru in him. Now I could understand there is a great teacher in him. Then he says, Karpanya Doshopahata Swabhavaha. Karpanya Dosha means I am unable to take a decision now. Pruchhamitvam, I am asking you, Dharma Sammodha Chetaha, which is the right action to be done? You please tell me. And he had added a tag for that. Sisyashteham Shadhimam Tvam Prapannam. You accept me as your Sishya and give me the message, he says. So this indicates that this divine knowledge should not be given unless asked for. Because Sadashivarao Garu has asked me, I have come here. Because when anything given unasked for, don't have value. And people do not like it also. What is this at this age, what we can do by reading Bhagavad Gita? We have enjoyed life, the retired life we will do some little bit of exercise, but the inner divinity can be awakened and self-realization will come. Then he gives in the, this I want to share with you, Matra Sparsastu Kaunteya, Sitoshna Sukha Dukkhadaha, Agama Apayino Nityaha, Tam Titikshishva Bharata, forbearance. Tam, therefore, bear it. Because Sparsastu Kaunteya, the Indriyas, the sense organs, when they get connected to the sense objects, they leave certain impressions. Either they leave a joyful experience or a sorrowful experience. So, don't be carried away by those impressions. Bear them. That is what is called Tam Titikshishva Bharata. This, I happened to travel in Himalayas along with my better half. When we were traveling from Rishikesh to beyond that, there was a big landslide, mountains have fallen, the road was blocked, BRO people were busy in clearing that, and they announced that the road cannot be cleared till evening. So we were subjected to stay there for about 12 hours. Along with us there was a German gentleman. He was looking at me. One book named Slokas. That's Slokas, you don't have any title like that, a book, but he was having. In his long coat it was there. And Slokas, what does this, because I have to pick up some conversation to pass away the time, So I asked him. Then he said, these slokas I purchased in the airport terminal. Then have you read any of those slokas? He said. I read them. Can you chant one sloka? I asked him out of curiosity because he is German. Then he said, I can chant. What are the slokas contained? These are the slokas, selected slokas from Bhagavad Gita, he said. Then please chant one sloka, I will be very happy to listen to it. Then he chanted this sloka. Matra sparsastu kaunteya, sitoshna sukha dukkhada, agama apayino nityam. They are agama apayino. These experiences come and go away. Anityam they are. Therefore you bear it. That is the message. Then I bowed before him and said, our Indian people They don't even free book is given, they don't open the pages. And you come from Germany and you are understanding it and also explaining it then. So that's a great experience. So here so many experiences come to us. So Swami Ranganathananda ji used to say, are you living or existing? This chair, table, these all things exist, but you are a living human being. So a living human being, the purpose is to realize the divinity within. Then he gives the third chapter in Karma Yoga, Yajnardhan karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. If you do your job, your duty like an yajna. Yajna means not putting cow ghee and swaha mantras and all that. This is an external ritual. But internal ritual is whatever duty is assigned to you, if you are doing it with a spirit of service, innate desire to serve the people, then it becomes an yajna. If Swami Ranganathananda gives an extempore lecture explaining the contents of the Bhagavad Gita, that is a jnana yajna. Now we are conducting a mini jnana yajna. Yajnardhan karmanonyatra lokoyam karmanana. With a spirit of sacrifice you have to do that. That's why yajna is also called as a sacrifice. Anyatra, if you do otherwise, it is karma bandhanaha. You will be entangled in the mesh of karma. Karma bandham. Karma bandhamlo. Tarata. Then in the fourth chapter, I am giving one sloka. I think what is the time limit for me? Go on. But people...
You may please excuse me. ఎంత టైం లిమిట్ కావాలి మీ ఉద్దేశం ప్రకారం? ఎంత టైం అన్న పర్లేదు. దానికి ఎంతమంది ఓటేస్తారు సార్?
Like this, then he gives, there is an assurance, yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyam. I create myself. When there is utter disorder, I create myself and try to establish again orderliness. In our limited time span, we may find there is a lot of disorder, but disorder is nothing. Still more disorders have to come, so that Avatara Purusha will come. Then he says in the 6th chapter, I like it very much, Atma Samyama Yogam. When I address the students in various colleges, I ask them to by heart this sloka and conveying the meaning. Uddhared Atmanatmanam. Nobody is going to elevate yourself except yourself. Uddhared Atmanatmanam. If I am having a bad habit, if I want to remove it, I should remove it. They give you sermons, they give lectures. So, Uddhared Atmanatmanam. You have to elevate yourself. Somebody says you are born like that, you are poor and all that. But by my effort, I can prove to the whole world that I am capable of doing. This is a very encouraging and inspiring and motivating statement. It is not the birth, not the creed, not the religion, not the geographical location to which you belong. It is the commitment, the inner desire. That is what is emphatically told in this sloka. Uddhared Atmanatmanam. Na Atmanam avasadayet. Don't allow yourself to fall down. Don't. Atmanam avasadayet. Don't allow. If you control your mind, it is your good friend. If you don't control your mind, it's a great enemy for you. See, we think that enemies are outside, but our own mind is a laziness, falsehood, gossip, envious, jealousy, nature. These are all the enemies created by our thoughts, by ourselves. So it's an exhortation that Uddhared Atmanatmanam na Atmanam avasadayet. Atmaiva hyatmano bandhu. Bandhu means friend. Ripu means enemy. You yourself your own enemy. You yourself your own friend. So no, don't complain about the external situations. Then in the 7th chapter says everything is provided by God. So when Sadashivara was talking, sir, surprisingly the weather has changed, sir, today is telling. Everybody may take a pretext that temperature is 40, we are unable to come. Now they can't say it because That is what is called, there is a universal intelligence working. You are in individual intelligence, consciousness. What is this body? It is a sack of flesh and blood, bones, everything, full, can be susceptible to diseases, so many things. But there is a divinity within us, that is what is called consciousness. That's what is called, there is no plurality for consciousness. Your consciousness is consciousness, our consciousness, total consciousness is only one. Swami Ranganathan used it to talk about this consciousness. There is universal consciousness. This is, Jiva Chaitanya, that is Parama Chaitanya. If you can get connected to that, how can you get connected to this universal intelligence or consciousness? When you are in sync with it, when your actions, your attitude synchronizes with that huge intelligence, everything will work out in your own way. Give me an example. Swami Vivekananda, when Ramakrishna Paramahamsa has shed his mortal coil, there were 9 monks in a dilapidated building where serpents were moving, haunted house it was called. They used to pay 5 rupees as rent in old Calcutta city. Those 9 people, with the spirited message conveyed by their guru, they have constructed these huge Ramakrishna missions across the world, Vedanta Institute in New York, Vedanta Institute in Washington, Paris, Berlin, in Domalguda, whatnot, everywhere there are so many institutes. Just 9 people picked up. This is what is called, because their conviction is, they are righteous, their consciousness get connected to the huge consciousness, super consciousness, and things work out in your own way. For that we have to refine ourselves, our intellect, our action, our thought, our deed. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. Then that universal consciousness is existing everywhere, is very aptly given in the 7th chapter. Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhanam jaya mayi sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. Sutre manigana iva. This is a pearl's necklace. That there is a thread running through those pearls, connecting it giving it as a shape. So similarly, Sutre manigana iva, మణిహారములో దాగిన దారములాగా నేను ఈ ప్రపంచం అంతా కూడా వ్యాప్తించున్నాను చైతన్య స్వరూపముగా అని అన్నాడు. If you see a plant, there is a life is there. Bird, there is life is there. Flowing river, there is life is there. Everything that is me. Nanyat kinchit, there is nothing devoid of me. This is a great statement. So then your attitude of looking at the things will change when you assimilate this meaning. So in the 8th chapter, the definition of God given there, all religions accepted this definition. BBC was existence in pre-independence days also. Round table conference, Mahatma Gandhi visited London. Then the BBC people asked him for an interview. Then there was a question posed by him, define God. You are a godly person. People worship you as a Mahatma in your country. So give me a do. Then he chanted this sloka. Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram Anoraniyam Samanusmarebhyah Sarvasya Dhataram Achinchya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasah Parastat. Oh, melodiously you chanted in Sanskrit, please, we are English people, you convey it in English. The interviewer asked him. Then you take this. Kavim. Kavi means who creates. Kavim. Srujana Shakti, Kavi. Kavi means not I write a poem, I become a Kavi. No. The creator is the great creator. Kavim. Puranam. Puranam means ancient one. Puranam. What is meant by Puranam? Puram api navanam Puranam. Even though it is old, it looks new. That is Nava. That is Puranam. You take Mahabharatam, you need to take character. That character is present now also. Duryodhana is there, Dushasana is there, Dharmaraja is everywhere. But less in number Dharmarajas. Duryodhana's born. That's a different matter because of Kali Yuga. So, Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram. Anushasitaram. I am the Anushashanika. I am the dictator. How the seasons are changing? How the seasons are changing? When there is a creation, there is a creator. People say, atheists say, there is no God and all that. If this is there, there is a creator. So, creation is created by him. That is what is called Anushasitaram. And he is smaller than the small and bigger than the big. There is a big question for anybody to grasp it, to perceive that idea. That Oppenheimer has perceived it. Somebody was talking, Oppenheimer, who has exploded the first bomb, atomic bomb. He said, this Anoraniyam Mahato Mahiyam, in the earlobes of his fellow scientists, this is exactly what I read in Bhagavad Gita, he said. You put in Google Oppenheimer, comment on Bhagavad Gita. Kalosmi lokachayatu pravruddho lokan samahartumiha pravruttaha. Like a Kala, in the form of Kala, I am destroying the whole world, he says. And Kalidasa says beautifully in his Gatastava, Shiva is destroying through his Tandavan Nritya, and Lalita Devi is creating with her Lasyan Nritya. Well, what a beautiful thing, He is destroying. So destruction is also required. But at the same time it has to be replaced. Lasyatmana parinamanti jagat vibhutiyaihi. Kalidasa says that this jagat vibhuti, this Aishwaryam is being created by him. Your husband, he dances in a Tandava and destroys. And you go on creating it. This is the beauty of both of you, Vagartha viva pravukta, Vagartha pratipataye. Both you do this. One destroys, because when it's not destroyed, where is the place for construction again? Because the people have to go away so that new people will come in. We are retired from service. New people have entered, We vacate our houses. Our people will take charge of the houses. So we vacate our bodies also, which we forget conveniently. We forget. Bhagavad Gita says, be aware of it. Kare Rajul Rajyamul Kalugave Garvonnatim Bondire Vareri Siri Motangattukani Pozalire Sibi Pramukulum Yasekkamulai Ire Korkulu Varalan Marachire Ikkalamun Bhargava. Bhargava means he is addressing to Shukracharya. Who is addressing? Balichakravarti is addressing. Here the converse, Guru is asking him to do the unrightful thing. Shishya is saying, I have to do the rightful thing by giving away the boons I have given to this Trivikrama, Vamana. So then we move on to, many people, they go on doing rituals. This ఏంటండి ఇవాళ అనంత పద్మనాభవ్రతం, రేపు ఏంటండి కేదారేశ్వర స్వామి వ్రతం. ఓకే, యూ డూ ఇట్. ఆ రోజు శుభ్రంగా స్నానం చేయడము, మంత్రం చదవడము, మంచి నైవేద్యాలు, రకరకాల నైవేద్యాలు, ఎందుకంటే తర్వాత మనమే కదా తినేది అది. సో యూ డూ ఇట్, ఓకే, దట్స్ ఓకే. బికాజ్ అంతరంగమున కూడా ఆత్మారాముడు ఉన్నాడు కదా, అక్కడ పెట్టింది ఆత్మారాముడు కూడా ఇష్టం. కానీ భగవద్గీత ఏం చెప్తోందనంటే, పత్రం పుష్పం ఫలం తోయం యో మే భక్త్యా ప్రయచ్చతి తదహం భక్త్యుపహృతం అశ్నామి ప్రయతాత్మనః. If it is given with clear devotion, with a pure mind, I will accept even if it is a leaf, patram. Pushpam, I will accept even if it is a small flower. Phalam, toyam, even you are not incapable of giving anything, at least a drop of water. Swami Krishna Arpanamastu. It sends me a wave of happiness. I am delighted by that, So means, వేదాంతం అంటే ఆకాశ వీధిలో విహరించేది కాదు, భూమి మీద ఆచరించదగ్గది అనేది భగవద్గీత చెప్తోంది అనమాట. మెనీ పీపుల్ థింక్ వేదాంత, ఇట్స్ ఎ గ్రేట్ థింగ్, ఐ హ్యావ్ టు డూ that and all that. You need not go to Himalayas, pick a flowing bed like this and all, all not necessary. you can view your own work as a yajna, and if you do the things, a list of things given by Lord Krishna, samasyatrau cha mitre cha tatha manavamanayo sitoshna sukha dukkheshu samasanga vivarjitaha. Sanga vivarjitaha, attachment. We attach ourselves, anything, it comes, if I see a beautiful watch unda meeku,
Yes, sir.
ఇది చూడండి, నాకు లేదు ఈ వాచ్, ఇది చూశాను అనుకోండి, అటాచ్మెంట్ స్టార్ట్స్. ఈ వాచ్ ఎక్కడ కొన్నారు సార్? సంగాత్ సంజాయతే కామ. కామం వచ్చేసింది, ఇది అటాచ్ అయ్యాను నేను దీనికి. ఇదే కంపెనీ సార్. ఎంత కొన్నారు? మీ అబ్బాయి ఇచ్చాడా?
మూడో అబ్బాయి.
మీ మామగారు ఇచ్చారా?
మూడో అబ్బాయి. మామగారు లేరు, పైకి వెళ్ళిపోయారు.
సరే, ఓకే. So this enquiry goes on. So because when I have seen, I got entangled for this. సంజాత్ సంజాయతే కామః. మీకు ఎందుకండి ఈ విషయాలన్నీ? ఇప్పుడు భార్య అందనుకోండి, ఈ వాచ్ ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఎందుకంట? రిటైర్ అయిపోయారు, అన్నీ అయిపోయినాయి మీకు. మీకు అన్ననుకోండి, కామాత్ క్రోధోభిజాయతే, దెన్ యాంగర్ కమ్స్. వెన్ యువర్ డిజైర్ ఈజ్ రెస్ట్రిక్టెడ్, నువ్వు బాబు నువ్వు తినకరా అని డాక్టర్ గారు చెప్తారు, కానీ మనకి అదే ఆపాడను, నీకే నాది శరీరం నేను పోతాను, కోపం వస్తుంది. సంగాత్ సంజాయతే కామః, కామాత్ క్రోధోభిజాయతే, క్రోధాద్భవతి సమ్మోహః, సమ్మోహాత్ స్మృతి విభ్రమః, స్మృతి భ్రంశాత్ బుద్ధినాశాత్. ఒక one European psychologist, he has done doctorate in psychology. He said after reading this sloka, all our psychology is bunkam. If you know this sloka, this is enough, he said. What is that? How the fall of a human being comes, Sangat sanjayate kama, kamat krodho vijayate, krodhat bhavati sammohaha. You have fallen in delusion. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. You lose your memory also. There was one news item in which in a psychology department of a university, PhD scholars, they are beating each other with the chairs. They were in fit of anger, beating. That has come in a news item. Psychology professors quarreling with each other, pelting chairs against each. They studied psychology, human behavior, mental behavior, but still they could not resist from the anger. So that happens when you fall in delusion. So this is a wonderful statement given there. Then how I could become a devotee or to be liked by Lord Krishna? Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam enamam upayanti te. One who is satata yuktanam, one who controls his mind and always moves in this direction of knowing this eternal knowledge, I am going to dadami buddhi, I am going to pass on that intellectual power. So then comes our open humor's statement from the 11th chapter. Then Sanjaya comes there, he sees the Viswarupam. This Viswarupam can be presented here also. Aneka vakranayanam, aneka adbhuta darsanam, aneka divyabharanam, divyanekodhyatayutham, divyamalyambaradharam, divyagandhanulepanam, సర్వాశ్చర్యమయం దేవం అనంతం విశ్వతోముఖం. తప్పట్లు కొట్టొచ్చండి, సంశయిస్తున్నారు. అనేక వక్రనయనం, నాట్ వన్ ఫేస్, అనేక ఇన్యూమరబుల్ ఫేసెస్. అనేక వక్ర నయనం, సో మెనీ ఐస్. అనేక అద్భుత దర్శనం, స్ప్లెండర్, వండర్, Aneka divyabharanam, you name that ornament, it is there. Aneka divyabharanam, divyanekodhyatayudham, udyata ayudham, means ayudham not in a lowered state, they were raised. Udyata ayudham means that, means it is there to protect his devotees, readily available. So that is in the 11th chapter. Then what are the qualities that was in it? Then some people question. So I will devote another 5 to 10 minutes I will close my session. Then afterwards 5 minutes for Q&A, question and answers if you want. With that we will wind up this. Then this sloka at my home, my father used to ask us to chant before taking food. That was inculcated right from our childhood. What is that sloka you are getting here? Aham Vaiswanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamasritaha Pranapana Samayuktaha Pachamyannam Chaturvidham. I am present as Vaiswanara within you and I am digesting all the food you take. Please be careful. Means when you are giving food to the Lord, you should not eat all filthy things. That is indicated there. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Devalayam Deham Devalayam Jivo Sanat Prokta Sanatana. Your body itself is a temple. Whatever you eat it as an offering. So in traditional houses, the practice is when you cook the food before eating, you put it as a nivedana, small, whatever it may be, a curd rice or anything, you put it, then you bring. Then what it becomes, it turns into prasada. That is the conviction. So then on management side, how to speak, a leader, how has to speak. Speech. Anudvegakaram vakyam. Don't excite others. Anudvegakaram. కేంపీలు పడిపోయిందా? నిద్రపోతున్నావా? అసలు బుద్ధి ఉందా నీకు? వాడు అడుగుతున్నాడు పైన 5.5 5.6 రావాలి. ఉద్వేగం. డాక్టర్ గారి దగ్గర పరిగెత్తాలి. బీపీ రైజు, ఆయనేమో డయాబెటిక్ ముందు వేసేస్తారు అప్పారావు గారు. ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చింది? యూఆర్ పంపింగ్ అనుద్వేగకరం, ఉద్వేగమైన మాటలు మాట్లాడకూడదు. అనుద్వేగకరం వాక్యం, సత్యం, ట్రూత్ఫుల్. ప్రియం, affectionate. Hitam, welfare. See what a beautiful construction of this. If you teach this in management class, an executive, how he has to speak is given there. అనుద్వేగకరం వాక్యం. చాలా మంది ఏమనుకుంటారంటే కోప్పడితేనే కానీ పని చేయడం అనుకుంటారు. కోప్పడితే పని చేయడం నటిస్తారు, పని చేయరు. గాంధీ గారు ఎవరి మీద కోప్పడ్డారు? స్వామి రంగనాథానంద గారుకి ఆయన హెడ్ ఆఫ్ ది రామకృష్ణ మిషన్కి అయ్యారు. ఆయన బేలూరు మట్ల ఉంటుంది అది. ఈజ్ ద చీఫ్ అనమాట, ప్రెసిడెంట్ ఆఫ్ రామకృష్ణ ఆర్డర్. ఆయన కింద ఇవన్నీ పనిచేస్తుంటాయి. ఆయనకు ఆయన కొత్తగా ఒక ఆశ్రమానికి ఇన్ఛార్జ్గా, అదే డిపో మేనేజర్ లాగా అనుకోండి, పోస్టింగ్ ఇచ్చారు. ఇస్తే ఆయన వారం రోజులు 10 రోజులు అయిన తర్వాత ఒక ఉత్తరం రాశాడు, పెద్ద ఉత్తరం. స్వామి రంగనాథానందజీ పాద ప్రణామ్స్. I am your devotee. I was given this responsibility. Nobody is listening to me. You please relieve me from this duty. I want to be a simple monk. Simple monk is better than the head of the institution. Secretary will be there now. Say, take dictation. Dear so and so, that monk, some Abhijnananda, something like that. The first thing you have to do is get up early morning before all the other monks get up, go to the toilets, wash the toilets so nicely, so spick and span, that any monk should be able to go and sit in meditation there. You do it, report back after 15 days. Secretary said, "Sir, really, shall I post this letter?" If you post this, I sign it. Then after 1 month, another letter has come. Now everything is set right. Because when I am getting by 4 o'clock, they are observing me. Because when the head of the institution has got up by 4 o'clock, we should also get up. They are getting up 4 o'clock. Then they are observing where is this gentleman is going. He is going direct to the washrooms and putting a lot of phenyl, everything spick and span, and he is seeing his own image in the tiles, So when our boss is doing this, what we should do still. So they prevented him doing. So it's in a lighter vein it looks like that, but when what the leader does, the followers will replicate it or copy it. That's there. So with this, I think I have done some justice to a Vihanga Vikshanam of Bhagavad Gita. I don't know how you have received it.
Last person.
Sanskrit language is not difficult. I am telling, I am a Telugu medium man. Now I am able to speak in English, not very fluent English, but Sanskrit also I am a layman. But when I started reading continuously, I have got a grip over it. Because it was there in our Telugu Bhasha is originated from Sanskrit. We have only Tatsamas and Tadbhavas, either equivalent to that or born out of it. So it's not very easy. So I request all of you to, who are intended, I cannot force anybody. Then another small request is, I am writing